Hi, this is Randy. I just wanted to make a video for some of you who may be new to the narcissist abuse community and are still trying to flounder your way around to try to figure out whether or not you were actually dealing with a narcissist. Now, bottom line is, it does not matter. A toxic person, a person that makes you feel horrible, is somebody that you need to move away from. But when we're getting into technicalities and we're calling people narcissists and narcissistic personality, we need to be able to know what we're talking about. And it's not as easy to figure out as you may think. Now, there are a lot of videos about red flags, and there are red flags, but every situation is a little bit different. Some narcissists will not show a lot of the red flags. Secondly, there are some videos where people will say you'll know you're with a narcissist if this and if that, because they follow certain patterns. They do follow certain patterns, but some of them don't follow the patterns either. Not exactly the way that they're presented. For example, the idealization stage. Eventually, yes, everyone who begins or who ends up in a relationship with a narcissist romantically, eventually you will get idealized. Yes, usually it is at the beginning and it's quickly, but sometimes it's not. I was in a relationship with the ex-husband narcissist for a whole year before idealization began. As I look back, I can only think now that the reason idealization did not begin was, number one, he had lied to me for a year about how many children he had, and when he finally told me it was 4 and not 1, and he had been keeping his children from me for a whole entire year, thinking that I would not accept that fact if I knew it. And then the idealization began when I actually did accept that he had 4 children, and I forgave him and understood that he had lied for a good reason, because he didn't want to lose me. However, like I said, he did not begin to idealize me until after I accepted that fact and knew that fact, and that was a whole year later. So why didn't he tell me earlier? I don't know. Was he really afraid that I wouldn't accept it? Or was I part of a narcissistic harem where he was testing out other sources of supply behind my back, and I just happened to win out from my other competitors, unknowing to me that I even had any? I don't know to this day, but like I said, he did not begin to idealize me until we were a whole year into the relationship. And it wasn't a live together relationship for that year, but it was a talk on the phone every day and see each other a couple times a week. So, number 2, it is said that the narcissist, a red flag is that they will always talk about their ex having been crazy. Okay, and that the assumption is that you find out later that no, there was nothing wrong with their ex. Their ex was not crazy. And so in my case, yes, he did talk about the ex. He did not call her crazy. He talked about her being borderline personality and a thief. And the problem is that over the years, it was true. I was able to verify throughout the years that yes, indeed, his ex was a thief and a borderline personality and many, many other things, including a gold digger. So Yes, I believed it at first before it was verified, but I did end up being able to verify it. So what he said about his ex was actually true. Now, he may have said a few things about her that I was not able to verify or that were not true, but many of the things he said about her I was able to verify, and they were true. Number 3, the fact that narcissists are known to rush commitment. They want to move in with you quickly, and they want to get married quickly. Okay, this was not the case with my narcissist. He did not rush commitment with me. We dated for 3 years before we moved in together. And he did not ask me to marry him until we had been living together for 2 years. So we were dating for 5 and living together for 2 of those before he asked me to marry him. So this narcissist did not follow that pattern. Now, rushing to physical intimacy, yes, of course, he followed that pattern. And the last thing is narcissists always presenting as a victim. Well, no, not the case. I believe my narcissist was higher functioning. I think he became lower functioning. I think he became a lower level decompensated narcissist as he lived with me and as he got older. And I think that to this day, right now, at the age he is at, which is 49, I think he is decompensated. And I think that he has become a low level narcissist. But when he was younger, he kept it together a lot more. He was much more motivated, and he could maintain a decent relationship with me that did not include abuse. It came on very, very slowly. I mean, the silent treatments came on slowly. The devaluation came on slowly and gradually. And then it would pull back and disappear, and then it would come back. This took a period of 16 years for me to actually get to a point where it was intolerable. So that's a long time to live with somebody. I was not in a state of, horror and panic and walking on eggshells that entire time. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, no, he did not present as a victim when I met him. Throughout the course of our relationship, he would show that he felt like a victim for certain reasons, because certain things may have happened to him and he felt sorry for himself. But at the beginning, actually, he portrayed himself as grandiose, very confident, overconfident. Overinflated sense of self, not a victim. So I just wanted to clarify that every narcissist is not the same. There are low-level, mid-grade, and high-level narcissists, depending on the age of the narcissist and how many relationships he's had before you. If he's had a lot before you, he's had practice. If he's had only 1 or 2 before you, he hasn't had as much practice in grooming victims. There are a lot of different factors that go into you being able to identify the red flags right up front. You cannot always identify them up front or quickly, and they do follow a pattern, but that pattern does not always happen within the first 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, but it can actually indeed spread itself throughout a course of many, many years. So it's not quite as easy as it sounds to figure out if you're dating a narcissist. It's easier the more blatant they are, the more overt they are. the lower level they are, and it's more difficult to identify the more covert they are and the higher level that they are, and the more that they're able to keep it together, both in public and behind closed doors. So thanks for listening, guys. Have a good night.